Welcome back to my channel. Have you ever been in a situation where a friend is telling you about a problem and before they've even finished their sentence, you already jump in with a solution? Have you ever felt the urge to give unsolicited advice to your partner, your sibling, or even a complete stranger? The feeling that itch to step in and fix things is a powerful and very common instinct. It often comes from a place of good intention. We see someone in pain and we want to make it stop. But what if I told you that this act of fixing or helping is often a form of interference that does more harm than good? What if I told you that your relentless need to interfere is not only robbing others of their growth, but it's also stealing your own peace? Today, we are going to talk about learning to not interfere. This isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about an act of profound love and respect for both yourself and the people in your life. It's about releasing the weight of the world from your shoulders and trusting that others are capable of walking their own path. So let's take a deep breath together and dive into it. Why we feel the need to interfere before we can start interfering? We have to understand the root of the behavior. This isn't a character flaw, it's a deeply ingrained instinct that often comes from a well intentioned but misguided place. The hero complex, the need to be needed. Many of us have a hero complex. We want to be the savior in someone else's story. We believe that by solving their problems, we are proving our worth and our value. This often stems from a deep seated need for validation. We think if they need me, then I am important. If they rely on me, then I am loved. We get a temporary high from being the one with the answer, the one who saves the day. But this isn't genuine connection. It's a codependent dynamic where your self worth is tied to someone else's struggles. So there's also the fear of discomfort. Another powerful driver of interfering is the fear of discomfort, both theirs and ours. When someone we care about is in pain, it's very uncomfortable for us to watch. So we want to stop their suffering because the pain triggers our own anxiety. We rush to give advice or take over a task not to truly help them, but to acquire the uncomfortable feeling in our own chest. We are more afraid of the temporary struggle than we are of the long term growth. We want to patch the wound rather than let it heal naturally. We often confuse interference with care. We believe that if we truly love someone, we must protect them from their own mistakes. We think our help is the shield against hardship. But what we are really doing is placing a protective bubble around them that prevents them from developing the very skills they need to handle life's challenges. So we are saying, I love you too much to let you fail. When what we should be saying is, I love you enough to let you learn. The illusion of control is another factor. Interference is, at its core, a form of control. When we feel like our own lives are chaotic or cut out of control, we often try to manage the lives of those around us. It's a subconscious attempt to create sense of order and stability. If we can control our partner's choices, our child's future, or our friend's dating life, we feel like we have a handle on everything. But this is an illusion. We can only ever truly control ourselves, and trying to control others is a surefire path to frustration. What is the high cost of interference? So, what happens when we operate from this place? The consequences are far reaching and they harm everyone involved. So, you rob others of their own growth and resilience. Think about a caterpillar in a chrysalis. The struggle to get out is a necessary part of the process. It's what forces the fruit from its body into its wings, making them strong enough to fly. If you were to help the caterpillar by cutting open the chrysalis, you would be dooming it to a life of being unable to fly. When you constantly interfere, you are a metaphorical knife. You are solving the struggle for someone else, and you are robbing them of the opportunity to develop their own strength, their own wisdom, and their own resilience. They never learn to trust themselves because they never have to. They become dependent on you, and when you are not there to solve their problems, they are left helpless. This is the greatest disservice you can do to help to someone you love. And you can you will become resentful and emotionally exhausted. Carrying the weight of others' problems is an emotional exhausting task. You spend your energy, your time, and your mental bandwidth on their challenges, often at the expenses of your own. When your advice isn't taken, or when they continue to make the same mistakes, you become resentful. You think I give I gave them the answer. Why won't they listen to me? This resentment is a sign that you have become too invested in an outcome you cannot control. You are burning yourself out, and for what? An outcome that was never yours to create in the first place. Interference is a direct hit to the healthy of any relationship. The other person feels judged and disempowered. When you constantly offer unsolicited advice, the message they hear is, I don't think you are capable of handling this yourself. This erodes their self confidence. It makes them feel judged, not loved. They will either become dependent on you or withdraw completely, fearing your judgment. It creates a parent child dynamic. Interference places you in a superior role as the one with all the answers. This is deeply unhealthy dynamic for a partnership, a friendship, or a family relationship. Healthy relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect and equality, not on one person saving the other. It also erodes trust. A key component of trust is the belief that someone respects your autonomy and your choices. When you interfere, you are subtly saying, I don't trust you to make good decisions. This erodes the foundation of trust and it can make true open communication almost impossible. So, interference, it also caused the loss of your own life. Perhaps the most tragic cost of all is the life you don't get to live. When you are so busy carrying the emotional baggage of everyone else, you don't have the time or energy to focus on your growth. You use the problems as a distraction from your own. and you postpone your own goals, neglect your own passions, and ignore your own healing because you are too busy being the hero in someone else's story. Your life becomes a supporting role, and your happiness is a side note. Here's the path to liberation: how to learn to not interfere. So, if interference is so destructive, so how do we stop? How do we break this lifelong habit and step into a place of peace and liberation? It starts with a conscious choice and a few key practices. So, here, how to practice: the practice of radical observation. The next time you are in a situation where you feel the urge to interfere, pause. Don't speak, don't act. Just observe. Acknowledge the feeling. You might feel a tingle of anxiety, an urge to control the situation. Just notice. Ask yourself two powerful questions. Is this my problem to solve? Is this person's struggle a threat to my well being, or is just their path? Most of the time, you will find that the answer is no. It's not your problem, and it's not a threat to you. This simple pause gives you back your power. And it can also distinguish between helping and intervening. There's a massive difference between helping and interfering. Interfering is giving unsolicited advice, taking over a task, or trying to control an outcome. It comes from a place of fear and a need for control. Helping is offering support from a place of respect and empathy. It's a gentle, supportive presence. Practice using phrases that are supportive, not controlling. Instead of you should do something, or try to use I'm here for you if you need me. Instead of saying, why don't you just do something? Try to say, that sounds incredibly difficult. So I'm sorry you are going through that. Before you offer any advice or assistance, ask for permission. This simple question respects their autonomy and their capability. Are you looking for advice, or do you just need me to listen? Would you like to hear my thoughts on this, or do you just need to vent? Is there anything I can do to help you, or would you prefer to handle this on your own? This small act shows that you trust them to know what they need, and it prevents you from making assumptions that can lead to frustration and resentment. Trust in your process. This is a fundamental act of love. When you interfere, you are saying you don't trust the other person to be capable, right? Then you step back, you are making a powerful statement. I trust you. Trusting in their process means believing that they have their own inner wisdom and their own path to navigate. It means understanding that mistakes are a necessary part of growth. When you trust in the process, you give them the space to become the strong, resilient, and capable person they were meant to be. Not to interfere also can redirect your energy. You will find that when you stop interfering, you suddenly have a lot of energy that needs to go somewhere else. The key is to redirect that energy back to yourself. What are your goals? Just start working on them. What are your passions? We engage with them. What are your unresolved problems? Now is the time to face them. When you focus on living your own life, you stop using others' problems as a distraction. You become the hero of your own story, and you give others the freedom to be the hero of theirs. Learning to not interfere is a challenging but incredibly liberating journey. It's not about being apathetic or uncaring. It is, in fact, an act of profound love. It's saying to someone, I love you so much that I will let you struggle so that you can grow. I will let you fall so that you can learn how to stand on your own. I will trust in your strength, even when you don't see it yourself. And most importantly, it's about saying to yourself, I'm enough on my own. I don't need to save anyone else to be worthy of love and respect. So I'd encourage you today to choose to be a loving presence in people's lives, not a constant intervention. You find that when you let go of the need to control, you gain a sense of peace that you never knew was possible. Thank you so much for being here. This is Pam. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. What is one small step you are going to take today to stop interfering and start trusting? Love you. God bless you.